Good morning, students. Before starting today's session, we will revise first basic rules of accounts. Those students who are interested to answer, raise your hand. Traditional approach and modern approach. Traditional approach is divided in three parts: personal, real, nominal. Yes, beta, Adishri. Personal account. Can you tell me the rule of accounts? Personal account.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Due relationship and settlement relationship. Due relationship, debtors, debit the
Debit the
debtors
data.
and credit the creditors. Settlement relationship, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debtors become giver and creditors become receiver.
Real account.
Real account, debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Nominal account, debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains.
Modern approach.
Modern approach, asset debit balance, liability credit balance, expenses debit balance, income credit balance, capital credit balance.
Very good. Then balance sheet pro forma.
Yeah.
Balance sheet pro forma. Equity and liabilities.
Equities and liabilities, shareholders fund, share capital, reserves and surplus, non-current liabilities, long-term borrowings, deferred tax expenses, other
Liabilities.
long-term,
Deferred
other
tax
long-term,
liabilities.
sir,
Deferred tax liabilities.
deferred tax liabilities, other long-term liabilities, long-term provision, current liabilities, short-term borrowings, trade payables, other current liabilities, short-term provision, assets, non-current assets, property, plant and equipment, intangible asset, capital work in progress.
Okay. Non-current investment. Non-current investment.
Non-current investment, deferred tax asset, long-term loans and advances, current assets,
Other non-current assets.
current investment, inventories, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents, short-term loans and advances, other current assets.
Very good. Rashmiji, accounting standards.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
AS1 disclosure of accounting policy, AS2 valuation.
Yesterday भी आपने ही बोला था क्या?
Yes, sir.
रुकिए फिर. प्रीति, accounting standards. प्रीति, accounting standards. क्या हुआ?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. चलिए.
Yes, sir. AS1 disclosure of accounting policies, AS2 valuation of inventories, AS3 cash flow statement, AS4 contingencies and events occurring after the balance sheet date, AS5 net profit or loss for the period, prior item and changes in accounting policies, AS6 removed, AS7 construction contracts, AS8 removed, AS9 revenue recognition, AS10 property, plant and equipment, AS11 the effects of changes in foreign exchange rates, AS12 accounting for government grants, AS13 accounting for investments, AS14 accounting for amalgamations, AS15 employee benefits, AS16 borrowing costs, AS17 segment reporting, AS18 related party disclosures, AS19 leases, AS20 earnings per share, AS21 consolidated financial statements, AS22 accounting for taxes on income, AS23 accounting for investments in associates in consolidated financial statements, AS24 discontinuing operations, AS25 interim financial reporting, AS26 intangible assets, AS27 financial reporting of interest in joint
Interest in joint
ventures,
venture.
AS28 impairment of assets, AS29 provisions, contingent liabilities and contingent assets.
Very good, beta. Sania, buyback test.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So first test is share outstanding test. First, we calculate the total present number of outstanding shares, then 25% of outstanding shares, the maximum number to be issued. Second is resource test. Present
Maximum
share
number to be
capital.
issued नहीं बोलना है. It's only 25% of shares outstanding.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Second is resource
Resource
test.
test. Present share capital, shareholder funds plus free reserves. Then total of first and second
Security
point.
premium plus free reserves.
Yes, sir.
आई थिंक तो आपने शेयर होल्डर फंड. अच्छा ठीक है, सॉरी. हाँ, 3 नंबर पे.
Then adding shareholder funds, then shareholder funds, then 25% of shareholders funds, buyback price, and maximum numbers of shares to be bought back.
Bought back. Very good.
Third, debt equity ratio. First,
Loan funds.
loan amount. The second, the half of the loan amount.
Minimum equity to be maintained.
Minimum equity to be maintained, half of the loan amount. Second, the present shareholder fund,
Third,
present share capital. Third
वो
is
as above. हाँ, present shareholder fund is as above. Next, Roman 4.
next is present shareholder funds minus the minimum equity to be maintained minus CRR,
What it called as?
available equity, available present share capital, available share
अभी
capital.
क्या बोलते हैं बेटा इसको? प्रीति,
Yes, sir.
क्या बोलते हैं इसको? यस, आदिश्री क्या बोलते हैं बेटा?
Maximum permits buyback of equity shares.
मैक्सिमम परमिटेबल बायबैक, परमिसिबल बायबैक.
Next, buyback price,
डिवाइड बाय बायबैक प्राइस, मैक्सिमम
maximum number of shares to be bought back.
एक बार फॉर्मेट देख के आना. थर्ड वाले में थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो रहा है, मतलब इट्स इजी, ओनली थर्ड वाले में थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हो रहा है. ओके,
Okay, sir.
नो प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है. सो नाउ हु वांट्स टू आंसर एमलगमेशन एंट्रीज? वाह, जिनकी मिश्रा, क्या बात है बेटा.
Good morning, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
First entry, asset transfer. Asset is a debit balance, so therefore realization account debit to asset account. And second entry is a liability. Liability is a credit balance, so that liability account debit to realization account. And third entry is a PC due entry, so transferee account debit to realization account. And fourth is a preference shares capitals, so preference share capitals account debit to preference shareholders account. And fourth is a equity shares capital account to reserve and surplus to equity shares holder account.
इक्विटी शेयर
And
कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट, रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस अकाउंट डेबिट. डेबिट था, आपने क्रेडिट बोला.
हाँ, sorry
टू
sir.
इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर अकाउंट. हाँ,
Six is a equity shares transferee company debit. And preference shares
इन
transfer
ट्रांसफरी कंपनी, इन
company debit to transferee account. And
कैश अकाउंट डेबिट.
seventh is a realization account debit to cash bank account. And eight is a preference shareholders account. सर अगर लॉस होगा तो डेबिट बैलेंस रियलाइजेशन अकाउंट. एंड अगर प्रॉफिट होगा सो क्रेडिट बैलेंस टू
नहीं
प्रेफरेंस
नहीं नहीं,
शेयर.
शॉर्ट पेमेंट किया उनको तो क्रेडिट बैलेंस, एक्सेस पेमेंट किया तो डेबिट बैलेंस प्रेफरेंस होल्डर को, क्योंकि प्रेफरेंस होल्डर का लॉस इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर का गेन, एंड इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर का लॉस प्रेफरेंस होल्डर का गेन. अंडरस्टूड?
यस सर.
हाँ,
टू
next.
ट्रांसफर टू प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स न्यू कंपनी.
Very
And
good.
ninth is the realization account debit to equity shareholders. And 10th is the equity shares holders account to equity shares new company to bank account.
एक एंट्री रह गया, प्रॉफिट हुआ तो रियलाइजेशन टू इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर, लॉस हुआ तो इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर अकाउंट डेबिट टू रियलाइजेशन।
यस सर।
वेरी गुड जिनकी। क्यों ऐसा फिर
थैंक
आज ही क्यों बोला, बाकी दिन क्यों नहीं बोलते हो आप?
सर, मुझे वो जो स्टैंडर्ड्स पहले मतलब मैंने याद किए थे, बट अभी थोड़ा रिवाइज नहीं हुआ। कल आपने वो मतलब वो मैम को बोले थे, तो फिर मुझे भी मैंने रिवाइज किया था, बट उतना कवर नहीं हुआ था ना, इसलिए मैंने नहीं बोला। और बाकी डेज में मतलब सर समझ में आता है, लेकिन उतना बोलने में ये।
अभी देखो आपका कॉन्फिडेंस कौन से आसमान पे जाएगा। आज अभी आपको आया ना, अभी नेक्स्ट सेशन में आप खुद ही बोलोगे कि मुझे बोलना है। ठीक है।
यस सर। यस सर।
यस, वेरी गुड।
थैंक यू सर।
ओके, दिनेश कुमार एंड वैदई। वन एंट्री दिनेश कुमार, वन एंट्री वैदई। हम्म।
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
गुड
sir.
मॉर्निंग। चलो
Yes, sir.
स्टार्ट। फर्स्ट एंट्री दिनेश कुमार।
Yes, sir. First entry is asset transfer. We will transfer all the essence of transferee company to transferor. Sorry,
उल्टा।
transferor company. Yes, sir. Transferor company to transferee company. The entry for asset transfer is realization account debit to asset account.
वैदई।
Second entry, liability is transferred to the transferee company. So liability has a credit balance, so we debit it. Liability account debit to realization account.
थर्ड एंट्री।
And the third one is PC due. In this entry, the debtor should be the new company. So transferee account debit to realization account.
फोर्थ।
Uh, Fourth is preference shareholder transfer account. So here we transfer the capital to the preference shareholder account. So preference share capital account debit to preference shareholder account.
Fifth one is
नेक्स्ट।
equity share capitals and reserves will be transferred. This entry will be like equity share capital to with reserves and surplus account debit to equity shareholders account.
Sixth entry is the purchase consideration discharge. So transferee company gives us the consideration. So here equity shares in transferee company account debit to preference share in transferee company bank account debit to transferee company.
नेक्स्ट।
Seventh entry is realization expenses will be paid. This account will be shown as realization account debit to cash and bank account.
वेरी गुड। नेक्स्ट।
Eighth entry is the preference shareholder account being paid. So here preference shareholder account debit to preference shares in transferee company.
वेट, if we are paying excess amount then realization account debit, and if we are paying short amount then realization account will be
Realization is
credited.
credited.
Hmm.
Ninth one are paid. This account
Over,
shows as
over, over, over.
Sorry, sir.
Realization profit or loss.
Oh,
She already
oh,
passed that entry.
okay, sir.
Hmm.
No, sir. I was
Yes,
saying preference shareholders paid, sir.
yes, they paid now preference holder account debit, realization account debit to preference shares in new company to realization. She already answered it.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Then equity shareholders paid. Equity shareholders
No,
paid will be
realization profit or loss.
realization. The realization account closed, sir.
Ah,
Yes, sir.
close realization account.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The eighth is a realization account will be closed. We will show
This is
profit or loss.
ninth entry. Actually, I told you to change the sequence.
Oh, okay, sir.
Huh.
Yes, sir. In this account, preference shareholders account debit and realization account debit to preference share in transferee company to realization account. If the equity shareholders is in loss, the realization will be debited. If the shareholders, if
Now
the
tell
equity
me
shareholders,
next entry. This entry is already told by Vaidai. Now you have to tell me next entry.
sir, the next entry is equity preference shareholders paid, right, sir?
So over no preference holder. Now realization account is open yet. So now we will close realization account. So realization account debit to equity shareholder in case of profit transferred, and in case of loss transferred, equity shareholder account debit to realization. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You paid preference shareholder, but realization account is still open, no?
Yes, sir.
And then we will close realization account. To whom we are going to transfer this profit or loss?
Equity shareholders.
So we pass that entry. That is the ninth entry. I told you to change the sequence. And then equity shareholder account debit to equity shares in new company to cash account. Got this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the last entry. You answered it. Only
Yes.
you have to change the sequence. First, we will pay to preference shareholder. Then we transfer realization profit or loss, and then we pay to equity shareholder. Got it?
Yes, sir. At first itself, I was going to say that only, sir. The entry is realization account debit to equity shareholders, and the next one is equity shareholders account debit to equity shares in transferee company and to bank account.
And what about loss? We also have to transfer loss, no?
Yes, sir.
So you answer realization to equity shareholder, but
Yes,
also
sir.
equity shareholder account debit to realization in case of losses.
Okay, sir.
So now, yes, very good, beta. Vaidehi, can you tell me without looking into answer
Yes, sir.
the pro forma of equity shares in new company?
Equity shares in new company, it comes in and goes out. So
Yes,
to transferee company and by equity shareholder.
very good. Next, Dinesh ji,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me the pro forma of new company?
A transferee company, right, sir? Equity shares. Can you give me the entry, sir?
You have to tell me pleasure pro forma.
Yes, sir. For transferee company, the equity shares will be
First, what comes to your mind? If I told you to open transferee company,
yes, sir.
what is the first thing that you have to understand?
There will
Yes,
be no
recall.
opening. There will be no opening and closing balance.
No, that is okay. Yes, Vaidehi, what is the first thing?
He is a debtor, so he gives us money.
It is the receivable amount from. So the transferring
So
company is
he
a
gives
debtor,
money
and then
to
it becomes
realization giver.
giver. Okay. So Dinesh Kumar, first you have
Yes,
to
sir.
recall the first step. The transferring company is a debtor, and then it becomes giver.
Okay, sir.
I already told you yesterday. Transferring company, debtor. So you have to write this pro forma at least 2-3 times. Have you not practiced it? No.
I've practiced by writing just one time only, sir. But I've written this entries 2 to 3 times.
No, in exam, they will ask you ledger accounts.
Okay, sir.
So by bank, debtor and giver, first ये आना चाहिए दिमाग में.
Yes, sir.
Next, very good beta Vaidehi. Dinesh Kumar, would you like to answer it or tomorrow you will answer?
I'd like to
Ledger,
try.
ledger
I'd,
pro formas.
I'd like to try one more time, sir.
Okay, try. Tell me new company we completed. Equity shareholder account.
Yes, sir. Equity shares is transferred, so it is by equity share capital.
Before that, one thing is very important. I don't want directly you tell me the pro forma. I want first you start with the credit balance or debit balance and then you go.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes,
Hmm.
sir. Uh,
So
equity
equity
share
shareholder is our
equity shareholders is credit balance.
creditor. He is our creditor
Yes, sir.
and then he becomes
Receiver.
receiver. You have to
Yes,
apply
sir.
rule.
Yes, sir.
So creditor and then he becomes receiver.
Receiver.
So
By
by
equity share
equity share
capital,
capital
by
by
reserve surplus,
hmm,
and to equity share capital
no,
in transferee account, sir.
no,
If it is a profit, will show us by realization account profit.
hmm.
If it is a loss, we will show as by two realization account loss
Hmm.
and two equity share capital in transferee company.
Two equity shares in transferee
Shares,
company,
yes sir,
not
shares.
capital.
Okay, sir.
Equity
Okay, sir.
shares in
Shares are,
transferee
yes
company
sir, shares are transferred.
to
And two
bank.
bank accounts, sir.
Very good. Vaidehi,
Yes, sir.
preference shareholder account.
Preference shareholder account is a creditor, so he receives money by preference share capital.
Wait, wait,
To
I'm writing it. Huh. How many times you practiced it?
sir,
How many times you practiced it?
I practice it 3 to 4 times, sir.
Okay, very good.
And
Hmm.
two, he receives preference shares in transferee, so two preference shares in transferee account. And
Oh.
if we pay more
Hmm.
by realization, and if we pay less to realization.
Very good. Excess amount paid, short amount paid. Very good. Better.
Yes.
Hardik wants to try one more thing. Realization account. Chalo, Hardik, realization account. Dinesh Kumar, you told me all entries correctly, but you have to practice ledger accounts.
Yes sir, sure sir.
So in next session, you practice this ledger accounts also.
Yes sir, definitely.
Sir,
Thank you sir.
morning, sir. Sir, realization account is debit. It is a temporary
Hmm.
account. So, sir, debit is all losses and credit is all income.
Very good.
And sir, in realization account, first we will transfer two assets, then buy liabilities, and then sir buy transferee company or new company account, then two cash, that is realization expenses, then sir two excess to preference shareholder, that is and buy short payment to preference shareholder, and then sir two equity shareholder, that will be our balancing figure, and if it is a profit, and then sir buy equity shareholders as it is our loss.
वाह, बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ाई कर लिया है आप लोगों ने अभी. Very good, Vaidehi.
Thank you, sir.
This chapter now easy or difficult?
Easy, sir.
Easy. So today we'll see in the books of
Transferee.
transferee. Very good. So today we'll see entries in the books of transferee. So note down all entries in the books of transferee. Students, I have seen now after a long time, means after 3-4 months also, there is a consistency. Hardik, I like this consistency. So up to means now it's only 10-15 days which are left. I think we are going to close this batch on in the month of January. After that, I don't know new batch when new batch will get started. But revision batches will not be there. You can see revisions. Otherwise, I will take revisions on my channel. So through our branches. So I will take revision sessions and please see message. I cannot give you my personal number. So messages you'll get it on my community post. So you can see over there when will be revision batches. But I will take it in the month of March, 1 month batch for advance accounting. Okay. So through branches. So you can join branches, branch batch or on Zoom. You will get this link. Okay. So we'll keep revision in the month of March. व्हाट्सअप चैनल नहीं बेटा, नहीं है नितिन. तो बाकी कम्युनिटी पे उस पे मिल जाएगा. यस बेटा, हमारे नंबर से आपको मैसेज मिल जाएगा व्हाट्सएप पे. यस, ओके. तो 7887 जो नंबर है उसके ऊपर से आपको ये भी मिल जाएगा. सो रिविजन्स करते रहिए अच्छे से एंड विल टेक 1 मंथ का रिविजन बैच. फटाफट फटाफट फटाफट. ऑल थिंग्स will be easy and it is available on YouTube also. Even last sessions, even in for the January attempt, we conducted that revision series. So you can check that revision series also. Okay. We'll take maximum questions, not concepts in that batch. So we'll take maximum questions in that batch. तो हम लोग ये मार्च के आसपास में चालू करूंगा फॉर 1 मंथ. तो अप्रैल मंथ मई के कौन से तारीख को एग्जाम है आपकी हार्दिक?
Sir, 357.
3. ओके 3 तो मार्च महीने में हो जाएगा. ओके सो लेट्स स्टार्ट नाउ इन द बुक्स ऑफ ट्रांसफरी. प्रीति आपको आती है एंट्रीज इन द बुक्स ऑफ ट्रांसफरी?
Sir.
हम्म. इन द बुक्स ऑफ ट्रांसफरी. यस प्रीति.
नहीं सर, ज्यादा याद नहीं है मुझे.
चलो. हु हु इज already completed these entries in the books of transferee? Who knows it? Yes, raise your hand. Other students remove. How many of you? 2 students. And you already completed this topic. Transferor books now you are aware. Huh? Adishri, why not transferee books, beta?
Sir, I told you yesterday, no, sir, I couldn't attend the class.
Okay, okay. ठीक है. चलो हार्दिक and Rashmi.
Yes, sir.
Why divided in 2 parts?
सर एक मर्जर मेथड के लिए होगा और एक परचेज मेथड के लिए.
Okay. Now listen it carefully. Yes, before break, I am going to explain you all these entries. And after break, I want every one of you will recall these entries in break and answer all of my questions. Okay? See, institute will ask you either transfer books. Favorite question, they won't ask you entries. Entries is very rarely they will ask you realization account to assets and all. Normally, institute ask you about in transfer books, ledger accounts. And journal entries for transfer is, yes, definitely. So books of transferee, institute will ask you journal entries for transferor ledger accounts. Transferee means new company. Okay. Now I already told you yesterday, there are 5 conditions. If you fulfill all these conditions, then it is called as merger method. So in merger method, we show our assets and liabilities and even reserves also at book value. What asset, liability and reserves are for reserves. So reserves are also shown by the transferee company, taken over by the transferee company. And in purchase method, we are showing it at fair value. Only assets and liabilities, reserves are not taken over. Reserves are not taken over. बराबर है हार्दिक?
सर स्टैट्यूटरी रिजर्व्स तो लेते हैं.
Statutory reserves are only shown, it is not taken over.
यस सर, वो फिर माइनस कर देता हूँ.
It is only presentation.
यस सर.
Statutory reserve is only presentation. So that I will tell you, but reserves are not taken over. Remember.
यस
What is not taken over?
रिजर्व्स.
Reserves. Remember. ठीक है? Written बेटा divided in 2 parts, merger method and purchase method. Now if we are buying any goods, so normally हार्दिक क्या एंट्री पास होती है बेटा? नॉर्मली गुड्स बाय किए तो
सर गुड्स अगर हमने क्रेडिट में बाय करा तो सर वो हमारा एक्सपेंस है, तो एक्सपेंस को डेबिट देंगे, तो इसका मतलब सर परचेज अकाउंट डेबिट, और जिससे हमने लिया वो हमारा क्रेडिटर होगा, टू क्रेडिटर.
so purchases to creditors, simple. So similarly here we are buying business, so instead of purchases we will write business purchase account debit. What will write? Business purchase account debit. And instead of creditor we will write liquidator of transferor company, so business purchase account debit to liquidator of transferor company. This is the first entry. Same entry we will pass over here. There is no change in the entry, same entry. Now the question is, how much amount transferee will pay to transferor? New company will pay to old company because I'm buying that business in simple language. And therefore I have to pay something. And that to pay something is called as purchase consideration. Now, if you buy something, Hardik,
Yes, sir.
how are you going to pay someone?
सर या तो कोई एक वैल्यू फिक्स होगी या तो सर जितनी भी एसेट्स उठा रहा हो लाइबिलिटीज उठा
अच्छा,
रहा हो
purchase consideration to whom you have to pay?
सर टू द ओनर्स ऑफ द ट्रांसफरर
No,
कंपनी
to transferor company. And transferor company will pay it to equity shareholder
एंड
and
प्रेफरेंशियल
preference shareholder. Correct hai?
यस
So transferee will pay to transferor and transferor will pay to equity shareholder and preference shareholder. Say yes or no?
यस सर
Huh. Now, first thing, one amount is fixed by the transferee company. And that will be paid to equity shareholder and preference shareholder of the transferor company. So what it called as,
सर नेट पेमेंट मेथड
very good. This is called as net payment method. Net payment method is like equity shareholder will get in exchange of 3 shares, 4 shares. Preference shareholder will get in exchange of 4 shares, 2 shares. So this is like in question it is given. And that exchange is normally we call it as net payment method. Very simple method. So shareholder will get these shares, equity shareholder, preference shareholder will get these shares, this number of shares in the new company. When such type of sentences are given, it is called as net payment method. Now remember, in net payment method, you are not talking about assets, valuation of assets and liabilities. You are directly paying to equity shareholder. So your assets and liabilities value may be different from your PC amount. This is PC amount. And assets and liabilities, we called it as a net assets. Net assets means, see, suppose if I'm buying some business, so I will pay to that businessman for their assets and for their liabilities, which I'm taking over. Now, assets and liabilities value, net assets value, if exactly that amount you are paying, then this is called as net asset method. What it called as? Net asset method means PC amount, what you paid, is exactly same for assets which you have taken over, assets and liabilities. Therefore, it is called as net. Net means difference between asset and liabilities. So net asset method, what it indicates? Exactly the same amount of assets and liabilities which we are buying from the transfer company, we are paying exactly that amount. Got the concept, everyone? But if we are paying different amount, then beta, while recording these assets and liabilities in your books, your assets and liabilities value will be different. And whatever amount you paid in the form of your shares or might be in the form of cash, this amount is different. This is a PC amount. So assets and liabilities value and your capital, preferential capital and cash balance value is different. Then we have to tally it because balance sheet is always getting tallied. And that difference as per merger method and as per purchase method, their difference is adjusted in different accounts. Otherwise, my balance sheet won't tally. If I'm paying exactly the same amount, then difference won't arise. When you are paying exactly the same amount, it is called as net asset method. And when we are paying equity shareholder, you take this amount. Preference shareholder, you take this amount for your shares. Then that is a net payment method. Then difference will be there. देखो बेटा, एमलगमेशन चैप्टर में एक ध्यान में रखना कि जब हम लोग बिजनेस परचेस करते हैं, मैंने किसी का भी लॉजिक याद करो, मैंने किसी का भी बिजनेस परचेस किया तो मैंने क्या परचेस किया? उसकी एसेट्स परचेस की, उसकी लाइबिलिटीज पे परचेस की. तो भाई साहब उनको पैसा तो देना पड़ेगा. अब ये जो पैसा मुझे उनको देना है एसेट्स और लाइबिलिटीज का, तो इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं नेट एसेट मेथड. नेट एसेट मतलब एग्जैक्टली उतना ही पैसा दिया, तुम्हारी इतने एसेट्स ली, लाइबिलिटी ली, उतना ही पेमेंट लो. जैसे आप मंडी में जाते हो, मंडी में एक एक सब्जी खरीदते हो और जो सब्जी खरीदी उसका पेमेंट करते जाना. जो मार्केट रेट चल रहा है आप उतना ही पे कर रहे हो, ना ज्यादा ना कम. तो जितना पीसी अमाउंट आप पे कर रहे हो, पीसी मींस परचेस कंसिडरेशन एंड नेट एसेट, तो डिफरेंस आने का सवाल ही नहीं. पर आप इकट्ठा पेमेंट कर रहे हो मंडी में, इतनी सब्जियां देखी और आप डायरेक्टली खरीद के लाए, ले 500 रुपए और इतना सब दे दे. तो घर आने के बाद आपने वैल्यूएशन किया, अरे मैंने सब्जियां कितने की ली? तो मेरी सब्जियां तो 450 की आई, पर मैंने 500 रुपए दे के आया मैं, तो 50 रुपए मैंने एक्स्ट्रा दिया, तो उसमें डिफरेंस आएगा. या हो सकता है आपने 600 रुपए का सब्जी लाया और दिया 500 लमसम. तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज नेट पेमेंट मेथड. और नेट पेमेंट मेथड में यू आर गिविंग इन एक्सचेंज टू शेयर होल्डर्स. 3 शेयर्स के बदले में मैंने 4 शेयर्स दिए, 5 शेयर्स के बदले में प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर को 6 शेयर्स दिए. तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एक्सचेंज, विच इज वी कॉल्ड इट एज नेट पेमेंट मेथड. अभी नेट पेमेंट मेथड में जब आप बैलेंस शीट में ये रिकॉर्ड करते हो एसेट्स एंड लाइबिलिटीज और पीसी, तो डिफरेंस आएगा. और ये डिफरेंस यदि मर्जर मेथड है तो ये मेथड में रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस में, जनरल रिजर्व में ये डिफरेंस एडजस्ट किया जाता है. लॉजिक इज वेरी सिंपल, बिकॉज यू आर टेकिंग रिजर्व्स ऑल्सो, सो वॉट एवर लॉसेस विल बी देयर विल बी एडजस्टेड इन द फ्री रिजर्व्स. मर्जर मेथड मतलब हम ही उसके शेयर होल्डर रहने वाले हैं, 90% हम ही कंटिन्यू करेंगे. तो हम किसी को एक्स्ट्रा पैसा नहीं दे रहे या कम पैसा नहीं दे रहे, और जो भी पैसा कम ज्यादा दे भी रहे तो वो हमारा ही लॉस या हमारा ही प्रॉफिट है, क्योंकि हम ही उसको कंटिन्यू करने वाले हैं. तो इसलिए वो जनरल रिजर्व में एडजस्ट किया जाता है. बट परचेस मेथड में इफ यू आर पेइंग एक्स्ट्रा पीसी, that is your loss, and if you are paying less PC, that is your profit. अभी extra PC that you are paying, why you are paying to any brand extra amount? ये शर्ट लुई फिलिप्स का है, यही सपोज मैं नॉर्मल कंपनी का लेता था तो दिस मे कॉस्ट मी 1000 रुपीज, बट लुई फिलिप्स का रहने की वजह से दिस इज कॉस्टिंग मी 2000 रुपीज or 2500 rupees. So why I'm paying 1500 extra? Because of the goodwill and that brand. तो ये goodwill का पैसा है, you have to understand that. If I'm buying business by paying more amount, that loss will be called as goodwill amount. And if I'm paying less amount, that is my profit, but that is not my day-to-day profit. So I cannot adjust it in the profit and loss account, and therefore I will adjust it in the capital reserve account. And when difference will arise? If I'm paying same amount, no difference. Whatever assets and liabilities you bought. If I'm paying different amount, then difference will arise. Merger method mein, I will be same shareholder, so I will adjust it in the reserves and surplus. But in purchase method, shareholder will be different. And he's paying you extra amount. Transferee company is paying you extra amount. Why transferee company is paying extra amount to transferor? Because of the goodwill of the transfer. And if it is paying less amount than the assets and liabilities, then it is their profit. And it has to be adjusted it in the capital reserve. And if we do not adjust it in goodwill and capital reserve, my balance sheet is not going to tally. My balance sheet is not going to tally. And therefore, for tallying purpose, I am doing this thing, goodwill and capital reserve. Hardik,
Yes, sir.
understood conceptually?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So net asset method में difference आएगा क्या बेटा?
नेट एसेट मेथड में नहीं आएगा सर, क्योंकि सेम अमाउंट रीवैल्यू
So
करेंगे।
second entry is I'm buying assets and liabilities of company and I'm going to cancel my business purchase. So after taking over of the business, now there are two ways. One is net asset method. In net asset method, assets are recorded at book value. Two liabilities are also recorded at book value. Two reserves also taken over, all reserves. And two business purchase. So you can see my business purchase account is getting cancelled. And what I am getting? Assets to liabilities to reserves instead of business purchase. And remember, there is no difference. And in net payment method, there will be a difference which is adjusted in reserves, which is adjusted in general reserve, asset book value. Business purchase is a PC amount. Business purchase is a PC amount. Purchase consideration amount. And asset liabilities and reserves at book value. Two liabilities, book value, two reserves by adjusting the difference. So want it in net payment method. And two business purchase, which amount?
PC.
PC amount. So this is the entry in case of net asset and net payment. Remember, there is no difference in net assets. And there is a difference in net payment. And where to adjust it? In reserves. In case of merger method. Here, what is the difference, beta? Net assets. Assets I will record, but at which value?
Revalued.
Fair value, not face value, beta.
ये सर revalued है।
हाँ नहीं, रिवैल्यूड से अच्छा फेयर वैल्यू बोल दो।
ओके सर।
रिवैल्यूड ये सेम बुक्स कंटिन्यू हुए थे।
ओके सर।
Two liabilities. Are you going to record reserves? No. So reserves I will write it, but I will cancel it. And two business purchase by which amount? PC amount. And in net payment method, assets are fair value. Goodwill account is debited. Difference, if loss is there, extra payment, when there will be difference? When PC is greater than net assets. You're paying extra than taking the assets. Two liabilities, fair value. Are you going to take reserves, beta?
No, sir.
कैपिटल रिजर्व सर रहेगा.
Two
नहीं,
reserves. No, I'm not taking reserves.
कैपिटल
Capital reserve is a
रिजर्व.
balancing figure. Difference है वो.
यस यस.
Capital reserve is a difference. I'm not taking over it. It is actually PC amount if I paid less than the net assets and two business purchase. So two different methods, two different answers. One is book value, one is fair value. Yes, Dinesh ji.
Sir, can you once again explain purchase side of net payment method, sir?
Purchase side of net payment.
Yes, sir.
What do you want exactly? This B entry.
Yes, sir.
See, we are buying assets. So assets account debit, but at which value we are recording it? Fair value.
Fair value. Yes, sir. Fair value. Yes,
To
sir.
liabilities also we record it at fair value.
Yes, sir.
Now see, whatever net assets we are buying, for example, assume assets minus liabilities value is 100,
Yes, sir.
which is called as net asset. But you are paying them, PC is 120. So you are paying extra or less?
Extra, sir.
Extra. Why you will pay someone extra amount? Because of his goodwill, no?
Yes, sir.
And therefore it is adjusted in goodwill, that difference. Assume your net assets is 100, but you are paying only 70. So you are in profit or loss? Is it your day-to-day profit? Yes, beta. Dinesh, is it your day-to-day profit?
Wait, sir.
No.
It's not day-to-day profit because.
And therefore it is adjusted in capital reserve. Got the concept? You cannot consider it in the EPS. If we transfer it to P&L, it will transfer. If we transfer it to P&L, it will get affected our EPS.
Yes, sir.
And we cannot show it as a free reserve. We cannot pay dividend out of this, and therefore it is adjusted not in general reserve but in the capital reserve. There are two logics. In P&L we cannot adjust it because it is not our affecting our EPS. We cannot adjust it in general reserve because otherwise you can pay a dividend out of this, but this is not available for dividend, and therefore we have to adjust it in the capital reserve. Got the concept?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you,
Still
sir.
any difficulty? यस हार्दिक, नया क्या समझा बेटा आपको अभी?
सर याद था सर.
सब कुछ याद था. वेरी गुड बेटा. आपने सेम तरीके से एंट्रीज याद रखे थे, बुक वैल्यू, फेयर वैल्यू?
ऐसे ही याद रखा था, ऐसे ही करा था सर.
वेरी गुड.
डिवाइड करके पेज को.
क्या क्या?
डिवाइड करा था सर पेज को और लिखा था सारे एंट्रीज.
ओके. Now we are moving to third entry. Liquidator को we are going to pay. Now we are settling that liquidator of transferor company. Creditor था, now he becomes receiver. Now what we are paying in merger method? We are paying in merger method equity shares. Preference shares. Only shares are allowed. Then it might be having some different amount than your face value. So 2 security premium and 2 cash only for fractional shares. Only for fractional shares. Cash is not allowed. Yesterday only I explained you. To cash means what? When you calculate exchange ratio. Exchange ratio. So 3 by 2 is 1.5. But if you are paying 2 shares for 3 shares, then better it will be in ratio 0.67 or something like this. So in that case, for fractional shares, we cannot give fraction share, no? So that extra amount will give it in the cash. But here, liquidator debit to equity share capital, to preference share capital, to security premium, and even we can pay debentures to them. We can pay debentures to them in case of purchase method. And we can pay any cash. We can pay any cash to them. So third entry, what is the difference? Here it's a fractional, and here we can pay debentures or any cash. This is a third entry. Easy?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now we are passing fourth entry. See, asset is purchased, liquidator का payment भी हो गया. Now we have taken over some debentures of that company. New company took debentures of old company. So old debentures we are going to cancel it because we have taken over it in the liabilities. But now we will give our certificate. Debenture holder had old certificate. They have old certificate. Now we will reissue new certificate by our name, and it might happen that we are giving some certificate. In that case, resource account we have to debit, or if we are giving them less amount, so security premium will be credited. Security premium will be credited. Resource ko debit and security premium ko. Here also same entry. Only the difference is resource in case of net asset and goodwill or capital reserve in case of net payment. So resource का replacement by net asset method में resource only because there is no difference, and goodwill or capital reserve in case of net payment. So ये एक नया entry था. Hardik, understood?
Yes, sir.
Fifth entry. It might happen that old company had some transactions with new company in the past. Transferor company had some transaction with transferee company in the past. And now, after getting merger, there will be no more debtor and no more creditor because now they are only one company. So we will cancel creditors of any company, means it might be transferor, then debtors will be transferee. If creditors is a transferor, then debtor will be transferee, and debtors of the transferor, creditor will be transferee. I don't know, it is given in the question. So creditors account debit to debtors account. So after amalgamation, we will pass this entry because there is no more creditors, there is no more debtors. And same entry here. Now, beta, it might happen that stock of rupees 100 sold at rupees 120. And when there is a, amalgamation, your stock we are recording at 120. But what is the actual stock cost? 100. So after amalgamation, we are recording at 120. So it is called as unrealized profit. What we called it as unrealized profit. Unnecessary, your stock is showing at 120 rupees. But you should record it 100 only because transferor company sold this stock to transferee and transferee has not sold it to outsiders. So transferee had that stock which is at 120 rupees. देखो ट्रांसफरर ने ट्रांसफरी को 100 का माल 120 में बेचा. अभी 120 में बेचने के बाद एमलगमेशन हो गया. एमलगमेशन के बाद इनका स्टॉक तो 120 पे दिख रहा है और वो ट्रांसफरर बोल रहा है भाई मैंने तुझे माल ये बेचा हुआ है पर इसका वैल्यू तो 100 रुपया है, तो हमें 120 से उसको 100 पे लेके आना पड़ेगा. अननेसेसरी हमारा इन्फ्लेट होके दिख रहा है, ज्यादा दिख रहा है स्टॉक, तो वो हमें कम करना पड़ेगा। सो स्टॉक को कम करना है तो इन्वेंटरी को हम लोग क्रेडिट देंगे। व्हाट विल गिव? इन्वेंटरी विल गिव क्रेडिट एंड जनरल रिजर्व we will give debit. And same entry here, general reserve in case of net assets and goodwill or capital reserve in case of net payment. अभी जो सेकंड एंट्री पे डिपेंड करेगा दिस एंट्री, अदरवाइज सेम एंट्री टू इन्वेंटरी। टू इन्वेंटरी सिर्फ जनरल रिजर्व रिप्लेस बाय goodwill or capital reserve in case of net payment method. Over. Sixth entry over. Seventh entry will not be here, but seventh entry will be here in case of
Purchase.
purchase method. That is the statutory reserve entry. Statutory reserve, as per Income Tax Act, you have to show it after amalgamation also in new company. Okay, they are not taking over it. It is only presentation they are doing. So statutory reserve has credit balance, but they are not taking over it, and therefore we will give debit. No debit, तो इसको बोलते हैं amalgamation adjustment account debit. Amalgamation adjustment account debit, and it is shown deduction from the reserves and surplus only. Okay, so statutory reserve, just we have to show it in reserves and surplus. It is only requirement as per Income Tax Act that you will show your statutory reserve after amalgamation, and therefore this entry is passed. And here we have finished with all entries of
Sir, expenses paid.
amalgamation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, one more entry. Realization expenses. Realization expenses. So here we will pass resource account debit to cash. And here resource will be, in case of net asset method, general reserve is debited. And in case of net payment,
Goodwill or capital reserve.
goodwill or capital reserve, depending on the second entry, will be debited to cash. So we have completed amalgamation basics. We'll solve maximum questions. एक बार याद कर लो, शांति से देख लो वन बाय वन एंट्री। Oh, sorry. Whether it is difficult or easy, beta?
It's quite difficult, sir.
Quite difficult. What is difficult in this?
The net assets and net payment methods, net assets, general resource coming, and net payment, goodwill or capital resource. So it's
Whatever,
getting
it's very
confused.
simple, beta. Whatever assets and liabilities you are buying, you are paying exactly that amount. Whether there will be a difference, beta?
No, sir.
No. So assets I'm buying. So assets account is debited. To
Yes, sir.
liabilities, it has a credit
Yes.
balance. Reserves are also, I will take it over. In case of merger method, all are book value to business purchase. You're getting this?
Yes, sir.
And if it is at fair value, then it is a purchase method. And suppose if you are paying extra, that is net payment method. If you are paying extra, that will be adjusted in reserves.
Yes, sir.
And if you are paying extra in case of purchase method, you are paying to outsider. So why you are paying to outsider extra? That will be goodwill or capital reserve.
Yes, sir.
And if you are paying to yourself, then it will be adjusted in reserves only.
Yes, sir.
Merger method, same shareholders will be there, no?
Yes, sir.
So why to show it under goodwill or capital reserve? That is a simple logic.
Yes, sir.
Second entry is only difficult. Third entry is very simple. Liquidator, you are paying. What you are paying? Equity share capital, preferential capital to cash. In case of merger method, only fractional. To security premium will be there. And here it will be debentures extra. You can pay in any form. In case of
Yes, sir.
in case of purchase method. So debentures can be paid. Okay. Fourth
Yes, sir.
entry, old debentures account debit to new debentures. Difference will be adjusted in reserves or security premium. And here it is goodwill or capital reserve. Khatam. Intercompany owings. What is called as intercompany owings. Transfer company and transferee company has relationship of debtor and creditor. After amalgamation, no more relationship. Creditors to debtors. Then there may be some unrealized profit in the stock. So general reserve account debit to inventory. Here if it is net asset method, then reserves account will be debited. And if it is a net payment, the goodwill or capital reserve account will be debited. And extra account entry will be statutory reserves account debit to, amalgamation adjustment account debit to statutory reserves. Reserve has a credit balance. It is just presentation entry. Amalgamation adjustment account will be debited. And realization expenses की entry relation to cash or net assets होगा तो general reserve or to cash or goodwill or capital reserve to cash. What is difficulty, Vaidehi? There is nothing difficult in this. Actually, this is simple. Like why you are getting confused, there are two methods, merger and purchase. Merger means I'm going to become a same shareholder will be there. I'm paying to myself only. And in case of purchase method, we are paying someone who is outside.
Outside.
Outsiders will record this asset at book value or fair value to fair value. Understood?
Yes, sir.
तो डिफिकल्ट क्या है बेटा इसमें? कुछ भी डिफिकल्ट नहीं है. Nothing is difficult in this. Net asset method, whether difference will arise?
No, sir.
No.
Because
Net payment,
we are getting net payment difference arises because we are giving more than or less than the agreed price.
net assets. Net
Net
assets.
assets, no. No.
No, we are paying more than or less than net assets. Paying means purchase consideration. Payment is a purchase consideration.
Yes,
And
sir.
what you are taking is net assets of the transferor company. If I'm paying extra, it will be goodwill. If I'm paying less, it will be capital reserve.
Capital reserve.
So all is logical, beta.
Yes, sir.
Why you are telling there is a confusion? There is nothing for confusion. What happens? Why you are getting confused, many of you? Because you are not thinking in the proper way. If you see this amalgamation here, what we are going to do it in exam is hardly 10 to 15 assets and liabilities. In real life, there are 1,000 assets and liabilities of any company. In real life, it is very complicated. In books, in your exam, how many assets will be there? Hardly 8 to 10 assets. Do you think there are only 8 to 10 assets in real life in amalgamation?
No, sir.
So we are learning only bookish concept, which is not at all difficult.
Yes, sir.
And still we are getting confused. I don't know why. This is, you can say to yourself, this is very simple, very simple, very simple. If you have in your mindset, it is difficult, better, then it will be always difficult for you. I don't think so. Okay, I made it very simple. I told you
Yes, sir.
every logic. I told you every why there is will be difference. I have never used a single bookish language that net assets, net payment. First, I explain you why there is a difference and why there will be no difference. And then I use this word, net assets and net payment. I told you the logic of purchase to liquidator. What is the logic? Purchase to creditor entry is only purchases to creditors in here. Purchases, or instead of purchases, it will be a business purchase. And instead of creditor, it is liquidator. Then buying assets against purchases. Buying assets and liabilities, only either book value or fair value, depending on the merger or purchase. When you will use the book value, when same shareholders are going to become a shareholder of new company, why they will change the book value? But if you are selling your business to outsider, so but obvious that new person will record it at book value, fair value only. And if it's paying extra, then net payment method. If paying same amount, it is net asset method. Whatever assets and liabilities he bought. Next entry, liquidator to equity share capital to preferential capital to security premium to cash, only fractional. Here, merger method, because same shareholders are continuing. I won't pay cash to myself. But if I'm paying someone, yes, I'm taking business of someone, then I may pay debentures also, I may pay cash also. So that cash will be any cash. Then creditors to debtors, intercompany owings, unrealized profit, general reserve to stock. Here, general reserve or goodwill or capital reserve to stock, depending on the method. Then amalgamation adjustment account debit to statutory reserve. And last entry will be realization expenses paid, general reserve to cash, general reserve or capital reserve or goodwill to cash. And old debentures account debit, yes, here रह गया मेरा. Old debentures we cancel it. So old debentures account debit to new debentures. Nothing is difficult, beta. Still difficult or easy now?
Easy, sir.
You already attended this session, no?
No, sir.
Amalgamation is already over.
Yes, sir, but I didn't attend that.
Why?
I was watching the past recorded videos.
So you haven't completed this chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, beta. Security premium always credit होगा तांबेश्वरी. मेरे लिए तो ये chapter is very simple for me. I know basic logic why we are doing this. Yes. Ledger accounts will not be asked in this. Maximum ledger account will be business purchase account. Okay. Do you want to see the magic, beta Vaidai? हाँ Vaidai?
Sir?
You want to see magic?
Yes, sir.
See now. Now you only will tell me. See, this is a company. Don't refer any study mat or this books. Don't
Okay.
open books. See,
Yes,
this
sir.
is a balance sheet. Whether this is new balance sheet for you, share capital, reserve surplus, long-term borrowings is there, trade payable, PP, intangible assets, current assets, anything which is new for you?
No, sir.
No. So this balance sheet is very simple. Now, how many companies are there? K and
Two
L.
companies.
Two companies are there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Liabilities of both the companies means they have liabilities.
Yes, sir.
Now, the terms of the amalgamation. Okay. They form LK Limited. So any company takes over another company, or they are both companies are getting uh, dissolved and new companies formed.
Amalgamation.
So this is amalgamation. This is not absorption. So there are two terms. One company is getting dissolved and another company is getting opened.
Form.
So in that case, it is amalgamation. And one company takes over another company, it is absorption.
Yes, sir.
Now issue of 5 preference shares of 20 each at 18 paid up at a premium of 4 per share. So how much you are paying?
18.
22
At a
rupees.
premium of 4, 22.
22 rupees for one share.
Sure.
Okay. So how many shares you are issuing?
5. 5 shares.
5
In preference
shares.
shares for every shares.
5 shares for every share. Now how many shares are there? See, you can see here. There are 4,000 shares and
4,000, 3,000
3,000 shares. So 4,000. So what is the PC? 4,000
into 5
into 5 shares into
into 22.
22 and 3,000 shares
4 lakh
into
40,000.
5
5 into
into
22.
22. Can you tell me the amount?
4 lakh 40,000
4,40,000
and 3 lakh 30,000.
and 3,30,000. See, this is a
7 lakh
PC.
70,000.
This is PC which is payable to preference shareholder. Is it difficult?
No, sir.
Now tell me, you are giving in exchange. So have you calculated net assets or this is a net payment?
It is a net payment.
In exchange you are paying means net payment. So everything I explained
Okay.
it.
Yes, sir.
Then issue equity shares of 6 each, 20 rupees. Okay, 5 minutes. 22 rupees. So same thing you calculate for equity shares, correct?
Yes, sir.
But what they have given in addition, necessary cash has to be adjusted. And now necessary cash means now this is not net payment method. Now this is net asset method. What is this method? So you
Net
have to
asset method.
calculate net assets, and then after calculation of net assets, we will consider,
Purchase consideration.
yes, we will consider the cash as a balancing figure. Let's take a break. So now, magic that I want to tell you that now you can identify any method, net payment or net asset. Okay. Now
Yes, sir.
questions are very simple. And we will solve it orally also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And see what is asked in the question.
Ledger
Prepare
accounts of
books of K Limited and L Limited. Means transferor or transferee?
transferor, old company.
Transferor means old company. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
transferor company means old company. So yesterday. And
Yes,
new
sir.
company will be today's entry. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you can solve it in the your rough pages, and we will meet at 8:40. तो आप 10 मिनट का solve it, 15-20 minutes you solve it, take 5 minutes का break and then we will meet it. Okay, so I am giving you time for solving it. तो आप लोग ये problem सब लोग solve करो. Illustration 7 and don't refer answer. Illustration 7 and in break you can revise the entries of transferee. So break के बाद मैं आपको transferee के books पूछूंगा. I am going to meet you at 8:40. I am giving you 10-15 minutes for thinking and 10 minutes का break. चलो ठीक है, take a break मनीष जी. Okay, beta. So illustration 7. Yes, have you tried it? One minute. Okay. So guys, yes, we'll start with illustration number 7. Yes. Have you completed? Now see, beta, when you are doing revision of this chapter, means I will take one problem thoroughly, how to solve it. But one problem I will take it in afterwards, beta, we have to do it in rough pages only. तो चलो सबसे पहले what we are going to do, हाँ, you have to understand it, हाँ, equity shares. So Vaidai, raise your hand, beta. चलो, how many equity shares consideration you calculated, beta?
8,000 into 6 into 22, 10,56,000.
8,000 into
6
very good,
into 22,
into 22,
10,56,000.
10,56,000.
Then 3,000 into 6 into 22,
3,000 into
3,96,000.
6 into 22,
3,96,000.
3 lakh.
96,000. Then total 22,22,000.
No, 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 no. Don't take total of this. This is a 10 lakh.
56,000.
Okay. What is the inventory provision? 2% and
2%.
2.5%.
Yes, sir.
2% and 2.5%. This is 1 by 2, no? I change करना.
Yes, sir.
Amalgamation. Illustration 7. तुरंत change कर दे. हाँ, so inventory का ले ले बेटा. तो inventory की value replace कर.
2,25,000 and 1,40,000.
First inventory, na? हाँ. What is the value?
2,25,000.
Minus 2%.
2,20,500.
Hmm.
Then 1,37,200.
1,37,200. So what is the difference, beta? 4,500
2,800.
and 1,40,000 into 2%, this is 2,800, correct?
Yes, sir.
Trade receivable, 2,75,000 into,
2.5%.
so it will be 268, 125, correct? And it will be 1,70,625. Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Issue of fully paid debenture, 6% debenture as is sufficient to discharge the 5% debentures in K Limited at a discount of 5% after takeover. So at what price they are issuing debentures?
At 95%.
So 2 lakh will be, now this will be 2 lakh will be replaced by
1,90,000.
1,90,000. So 10,000 ka it's a benefit. Okay. Now, okay, ठीक है, ये रहने दीजिए. Okay. Now, can you tell me? अच्छा, this is intercompany owings, beta.
Yes, sir.
And LK Limited 15,000 shares at rupees 18 paid up. Correct? Eh? Now,
Yes,
can you
sir.
tell me, beta, what is the purchase consideration? PC is equal to 18 lakh 71,375 minus 4,500 minus 6,875. Okay, so what I have done, that data's amount I have deducted. So what is the balance? 18 lakh 60,000. One option that you have, you take this total of all assets.
Yes, sir.
And second option that you have, I deducted directly 4,500 and 6,875 from the assets,
Yes, sir.
which is a simple option. Are you going to take 11 lakh 30,000 plus 80,000 plus 2 lakh 20,500 plus 268 125 plus 161 375? Instead of that, take a difference.
Yes, sir.
So what is the answer? 1871 375 minus
18 lakh
4,500,
60,000. 18
11
lakh
lakh 60,
60,000.
18 lakh 60,000. And what is the liability side? Asset minus liability, minus 1 lakh 90,000 minus 1 lakh. So
15
how
lakh
much you should
70,000.
pay?
15 lakh
15 lakh
70,000.
70,000.
70,000.
Out of that, you are paying in the form of preference share capital. How much in the form of preference share capital? 4 lakh.
4 lakh 40,000.
Okay. So this is
And
called
2
as
lakh
PC discharge. And what is equity share capital you are paying?
10 lakh 56,000.
10 lakh 56,000. So what is the balance cash that you have to pay?
74,000.
One minute, huh, beta?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They are giving discount after takeover, beta. They are giving discount
After takeover.
after takeover. So they will take over it at 2 lakhs, and after takeover they will give that in fourth entry we pass no old debentures to new debentures. So they are
Yes, sir.
taking over at 2 lakhs, but while passing entries in their books they will consider 190.
Yes, sir.
You are getting this point?
Yes, sir.
So 190, you won't take a BEEP 190, after takeover you will consider it. 190 when to consider? After takeover. So your PC will be 15 lakh 60,000.
60,000.
15 lakh 60,000.
60,000.
And what is your cash balance difference? 64,000. Correct? Eh?
Yes, sir.
Now do for second one. Do for K Limited. What is the net assets? Yes, tell me amount. 12 lakh 7,175
12 lakhs.
minus
2 lakh.
2,800 minus 4,375. 12 lakhs.
12
12 lakh
lakhs.
minus 2 lakhs minus
2 lakh
2 lakh
10,000.
10,000. So what will be the PC amount?
7 lakh 90,000.
What is the preference share capital you are issuing?
3 lakh 30,000.
3 lakh
And
30,000.
3 lakh 96,000. Equity shares.
3 lakh 96,000 equity shares.
64,000 cash.
Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir.
64,000 cash.
Yes, sir.
See, there will be no difference in LK Limited books. Why? Because we are following which method here? Net asset method. Which method over here? Not net payment. Why this is net asset method, beta? Reason is very simple. Because
Cash
balancing figure you are paying in the cash. In addition means balancing figure you are paying in the
cash.
cash. You are getting this point?
Yes, sir.
What we have done? See, First, we calculated preference shares. Then we calculated equity shares. Then we calculated net assets. How we calculated net assets? You have two methods. You take a total of assets minus third party liabilities, or you take already total is given in the question. So you reduced debtors and inventory. So I have considered that option.
Yes, sir.
But in exam, you won't go by shortcut. In exam, you have to write net assets. You have to write net assets. This is only for understanding purpose I am telling you.
Yes, sir.
And you deduct third party liabilities. What mistake I have done? While deducting third party liabilities, in L Limited, I considered
That debentures after takeover.
debentures 1,90,000, but it should be considered 2 lakhs only. After
Yes, sir.
takeover, you will consider 190.
Yes, sir.
You are getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And then we got the PC, and PC is your net assets, and balancing figure will be your cash. Got the concept?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to present the answer? First, what do you calculate? First step, net assets. You can write over there. First step is what?
Net asset.
Net assets. So, what is the format?
Preference shares.
No. A assets, B liabilities,
Liabilities.
and C
Net
net
assets.
assets. In assets, which assets you are going to write? All. All assets. Land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, goodwill, all assets. Or directly you can take PP, intangible assets. Inventory at which figure, beta? Old figure or revised figure?
Revised figure.
Trade receivable and cash
Revised.
equivalent. Minus
Trade.
minus 10% debentures or long-term borrowings. But are you going to consider 190 or 2 lakhs?
2 lakhs.
2 lakhs. After takeover, 190 will be there. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
minus trade payable. So this is your first step. It will get 3 marks.
Yes, sir.
Second step, discharge of PC. Second step, discharge of PC. What is over there in discharge of PC? Payment to preference
Transfer of
shareholders. Then payment to
equity shareholders.
equity shareholders.
Then
Okay. Payment to preference shareholders in the form of
preference shares.
preference shares. And payment to equity shareholders in the form of
Equity shares and cash.
equity shares and cash. So this is your pro forma.
Yes, sir.
You have to understand pro formas.
Yes, sir.
And cash will be balancing figure. And this is your PC. A, B, C. Understand the pro forma.
Yes.
So first step is what, beta?
To compute the net asset.
Net assets.
For that,
Second
we
step,
should take the asset, total of the asset. Then we should deduct the liability which are external to us. Then we get the after revised value. Then we get the net assets. Then we should discharge the purchase consideration. For that, we should split into payment to preference shareholders, which is in the form of preference shares. And next, payment to equity shareholders, which is in the form of equity shares as well as cash. Then we get the purchase consideration.
easy.
Yes, sir.
Now, have they asked you about new company's books?
No, sir.
Only old company. Okay. So we got PC, we got this. Now third. Now main answer. This is your working note 1. This is your working note 2. What happened in amalgamation? Normally students are not getting the pro forma formats. Then beta main answer. Main answer is what?
Ledgers.
Ledger account. You will open
Realization.
realization account. Then
Equity shareholders, preference shareholder,
LK
transfer,
Limited. Preference shareholder account.
equity shareholder account,
Equity shareholder account.
Then preference shares in transfer LK Limited.
Preference shares in LK,
Preference equity shares in LK Limited.
LK, cash.
Yes, sir.
How many ledger accounts you are going to open?
7.
7. So students, this is how to solve question. You can write these things. How to solve every question. I'm not going to solve this. You have to understand how to solve first. Once you understand how to solve, then you can easily solve it today. Can you calculate realization profit or loss directly?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No, sir. We should take the preference that loss or gain. Then we should compute for the equity
No,
shareholders.
beta. You can calculate it directly. What is the book value of the LK Limited? LK Limited you will do by your own. I will teach you K Limited first. What is the
Yes,
book
sir.
value? 1871 375. Total book value, correct?
Yes, sir.
Minus 2 lakhs, minus 1 lakh.
1671.
So what is the book value of assets minus liabilities?
15 lakh 71 375.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
What is the PC that company is giving you? 15 lakh 60,000.
Yes, sir.
We calculated no PC 1560.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We are getting less amount or greater amount?
Greater amount.
We are getting greater amount.
Less
PC
amount.
less amount. We are transferor. So
Yes, sir.
book value 1571 375. We are getting only 15 lakh 60,000. So it's our loss.
Yes, sir.
How much?
11,375.
11,375. Now this is our total loss, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now preference shareholder, how much they are getting? What is the value of
4
preference
lakh
share
40.
capital?
4 lakh. They are getting 4 lakh 40,000.
They are getting 4,40,000. So how much they are getting extra?
40,000.
So 40,000 is a loss to equity shareholder.
Yes, sir.
This is again loss 11,375.
Yes, sir.
So equity shareholder have to bear loss 40,000 plus 11,375. So what is the loss to the equity shareholder?
51,375.
51,375. Let's check the answer. Have you opened study material?
Yes, sir.
You can check here. 51,375 is a loss to the equity shareholder.
Yes, sir.
I told you, no, you can calculate it orally. Understood the technique?
Yes, sir.
Hardik? And see, This loss is in case of transferor company. But it doesn't mean that transferee company will have the same profit. No. Transferee company net asset is equal to PC, therefore no difference. Therefore no difference. So there is no need. Loss to the transferor means same amount will be profit to the transferee. Understood?
Yes, sir.
हार्दिक समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
तो ट्रांसफरर का लॉस जरूरी नहीं है कि ट्रांसफरी का प्रॉफिट भी होगा, बिकॉज ट्रांसफरी हैज डिफरेंट रिकॉर्डिंग सिस्टम and transferor is transferring at book value and transfer is recording at fair value, so you cannot compare these two. तो जरूरी नहीं कि ट्रांसफरर का लॉस मतलब इसका प्रॉफिट हुआ. यू आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
Yes, sir.
आपको मैंने बोला था ना आप ओरली कैलकुलेट करोगे.
Yes, sir.
देखो ओरली कैलकुलेट हो गया.
Yes, sir. हो गया.
अंडरस्टूड?
Yes, sir.
Now same thing you do for L Limited, all of you. All of you do for L Limited.
Sir, कर दिया sir अभी.
Very good. Vaidai, have you done beta?
Yes, sir.
So what is the L Limited book value?
Sir, 7 lakh.
2,07,175 minus 4 lakh
797,
175.
175. And what is the PC?
7,90,000.
790,000. So what is the loss?
7175.
7175. What is the loss to preference shareholder?
Profit to preference shareholder, but equity shareholder
Equity
lost
shareholder का loss हुआ, हाँ.
30,000.
Yes.
30,000.
So 37,175 will be loss for equity shareholder. Without solving, you can do it. और ये आपका थिंकिंग लेवल बढ़ा देगा. It will improve your thinking better if you do it in this way. You don't have to solve each question better. You can solve it in very easy way. You just, whenever you are doing revision, you just have to understand how to solve the question. First we have to understand, first I will prepare net asset. Format is assets, liabilities, net asset. Working note 2 is discharge of PC. And then I will open realization account. Students, why they think this is very difficult? Because they are not able to calculate PC. If your PC gets wrong, your whole answer gets wrong. So whenever you are doing revision, you don't have to calculate full problem. You just calculate PC. और इसकी practice करो. 4-5 times you solve these questions. Only PC. Don't write everything. Because you are aware about entries. You know all ledger accounts. So you focus only on two parts, net assets and PC. And what will be the difference? So Hardik, without solving, you can get the answer.
Yes, sir.
So ये आपको समझ के लेना पड़ेगा. And why you are getting this? Because now your concepts are very clear. Because you know what is the book value. You know what is the PC amount you are getting. Now Tambeshwari is asking me, sir, how to identify it is a merger method or purchase method? Now see beta, Tambeshwari, if you are changing a single book value also, now you change inventory, you change debtors. So this is the purchase method. तो तांबेश्वरी ये कौन सी मेथड हो गई बेटा? दिस इज द परचेस मेथड. If you are changing the single amount also, it is a purchase. And you have to keep patience. Sir, this is difficult chapter. Yes, I know. At student level, it is difficult. Now, I solved many questions of amalgamation. And beta, when I studied my Vaidai, I studied my CA final. See, my teacher, he never told me this technique. Directly, you have to calculate. He taught us in the lengthy format. Working note, he always used to write all these working notes. Then we have to tally our balance sheet. He never taught us the thinking. When I sat for my revision, then I watched my all booklet. Then I saw my booklet. At that time, I realized it's not possible to solve 70 questions were there in CA final module. How many questions? 70 questions were there. So, is it possible to solve 70 questions
No,
at the
sir.
time of revision, and if 2 months are only left?
No,
So,
sir.
beta, what I did, I solved only and only. See, I got this technique. I derived this technique. Book value PC. I first understood what is the method, what is the difference. And beta, when I was doing my CA course, no, I never by heart a single line. My thinking is always pure logical thinking. And this helped me for my teaching career. Then I have seen that difference. What is exactly the difference? Net asset, net payment. So there will be a difference that will be called as goodwill or capital reserve. What sir had done, he only solved the illustrations. He taught us only entries, but he never gave us the logical thinking, what you exactly have to understand in this. And that's why students are also finding this chapter very difficult, because they are not aware about all these logics. Okay, so Vaidai, now
Yes, sir.
100% clarity.
Yes, sir.
Easy है क्या difficult है?
Easy.
Easy. So tell me whether loss to the transferor will be profit to the transferee?
No, sir. It
No?
differs.
Why?
No, sir. Because he prepares different set of books and transferor prepares different set of books. So it might not tally that his loss will be his profit.
Because he is closing by book value, he is recording by fair value. So how one can have the same profit or loss?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
no, not at all possible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me how you are going to prepare these accounts. Yes, simply you tell me.
We have to close the asset balance.
You will open all first when solving. You will open all these books. Realization.
Yes,
Now, what is the simple technique, beta? I will write LK as it is. No, L and K columns. Instead of preparing two accounts, what I will do? Sorry, first K, and then L. Should I prepare two different realization account, or in one realization account two separate columns?
One realization, two separate
Separate
columns.
columns. So in Institute Math, you have two separate realization accounts. So my technique, you have all assets and liabilities, similar assets and liabilities. So instead of that, you prepare only two columns. It will save your time.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Second account, LK Limited. I will do for one, and you will do for second. Third one. Third one is
Preference
beta
shareholder.
preference
Preference
shareholder.
shareholder.
Fourth one,
Equity shareholder.
equity shareholder.
Preference share in transferring LK Limited.
Preference shares in LK.
Equity shares in LK Limited.
Equity shares in LK.
Bank account.
And bank account. Okay. So first entry,
Two assets.
two assets. You will write each and every asset. Now here I will prepare only for K Limited. So in exam you will write each and every asset, but for solving for revision purpose I am taking only
Single asset.
single amount, not single asset. Huh?
Sorry,
So
single
what is
amount.
the single amount?
18,71,375.
Very good. So first entry over. Second entry.
Liability,
Hmm.
3 lakhs.
So you will take by liability, but you will take individual liabilities, huh? By long-term
See.
borrowings, by debentures, and by trade payable. You will write separately.
Yes, sir.
Third entry.
By LK Limited,
By LK Limited. How much? PC for LK Limited.
15,60,000.
15,60,000. Yes, very good. 15,60,000. And second effect, LK Limited debit
LK
side to.
Limited, to realization, 15,60,000.
Very good. Next entry. Preference share capital to preference shareholder.
Yes, sir. 4
And
lakhs.
equity share capital and by reserves and surplus to equity shareholder. So preference share capital
4 lakhs.
4 lakhs.
Equity share capital 8 lakh.
Equity share capital 8 lakhs. And reserves and
Reserves
surplus
3,71,375.
3,71,375.
375.
Now what will that company will give you?
Preference shares.
Preference shares, equity shares and cash. How much preference shares, beta?
4,40,000.
4 lakh.
40,000.
Hmm.
Equity shares 10,56,000.
10,56,000.
Cash 64,000.
64,000. So here I will write 4,40,000. 10 lakh.
10,56,000.
And
Cash
64,000.
64,000.
So this account gets tallied?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this account gets tallied. Next. Now you will discharge preference shareholders
Yes, sir.
to preference shares in LK
4,40,000.
4,40,000 and by
By
preference shareholder 4,40,000. So this account is also tallied
yes, sir.
and the difference 40,000
That's
on the
by
credit side. By realization. Say yes or no?
40,000. Yes, sir.
So this is a balancing figure. This account is also getting closed.
Yes, sir.
Realization account credit side, you will write by preference shareholder excess payment.
Debit side.
Sorry, my mistake. To preference shareholder excess
40,000.
payment 40,000. Just checking whether you are attentive or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 40,000, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now you are going to close
Equity share.
realization account. Why equity shareholder?
Sorry.
51.
375.
Debit balance is more means loss.
Yes, sir.
So equity shareholder account debit side. So realization account close, beta.
Yes, sir.
To
Realization
realization
51,375.
Now this you will give to equity shareholder
Yes, sir.
1056 closed. This will be given to equity shareholders. So equity shareholder will get 10,50,000 to equity shares in LK Limited and to bank
64,000.
and check whether this account is tallying or not.
11,71,375.
So this accounts finally get
Tallied.
and problem is over.
Yes, sir.
Difficult, easy?
Easy, sir.
One more time. First,
We have to open realization account. Then we have to transfer the assets and liabilities. Then transferee companies purchase consideration due in credit side. Then we have to close the preference shareholders account. And in this, it is a loss. We have paid more. So then we have to close the realization account and transfer the balance to the equity share. Here it is lost. So transfer to realization account in equity shareholders account. Then we have to prepare LK Limited accounts. The In the sum, they have given equity shares, preference shares. So the
No,
account
no,
dates
no. In
tally.
exam, you don't do account wise, huh?
Yes, sir.
You have to think entry wise. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Don't write like account wise. In exam, you will prepare all these accounts and then realization account half page. Why half page, beta? Because all assets you have to write, no?
Yes.
See. Yes, what is the first step? Chalo, now one more time. What is the first step?
We have to open realization account. Then we have to transfer assets and liabilities. Then we have to pass the due entry for purchase consideration. Then we have
First, you
to
will
transfer
calculate
the.
these net assets.
Yes, sir.
In net assets, you can use shortcut. You can take directly PPE.
Yes, sir.
Because this is working note, no, beta?
Yes, sir.
So working note 1, net assets. You have taken separate PPE assets or directly PPE?
Directly PPE.
Which amounts are getting changed?
Data, trade receivables, and stock.
Okay. So you got this working note 1. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then what is working note 2?
Calculation of purchase consideration.
What is the pro forma? Serial number, particulars, K limited, L limited. Amount payable to preference holder in the form of
Preferences.
LK limited. Amount payable to equity holder in the form of
Equity shares and bank.
bank. Okay. And cash is your balancing figure.
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Then you open in the books of
Realization.
K and L limited. Realization. Here also I use the shortcut.
Yes, sir.
Which shortcut? I transfer directly PPE. But in exam, you can write it separately to land and building, to furniture, to plant and machinery, whatever the PP is there. Okay. So see, this is half page. Then LK limited, 6 lines. Then you have equity shareholder, 5-6 lines. Preference shareholder. So which is your next account? First is realization. After that, LK. Number 3, preference shareholder. Number 4, equity shareholder. Number 5, equity shares in LK. Sorry. First preference shares in LK, equity shares in LK, and 7th account. Which account is going to tally? Yes, Vaidehi, which account is
Equity,
going to tally?
equity shares, equity shareholder account.
Sorry. Equity shareholder account. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Everyone understood, beta? Adishri? Is it difficult or easy, beta?
Easy, sir.
See, question size is big, but if you understand the basics, entries, then it will not be difficult. And even you can solve profit or losses orally. It's very simple. Sometimes it might happen that it is very difficult to calculate it, but very easy once you got the concept. Okay, आज practice करना पड़ेगा सबको. Now we'll see in the books of LK Limited also. Yes. At what value you are going to record assets? Vaidehi?
Revised value. Revised value.
So can I record assets at net assets total 18,60,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, 18,60,000. I will record assets of L limited,
Yes, sir.
K limited plus
K
12 lakhs because we have to combine these assets, no? Liabilities, beta, I will record. Liabilities, I will record. At which
After
value?
takeover value.
No. So I will record at 1,90,000.
Yes, sir.
sorry, not 1 lakh 90, 2 lakh 90, because one has liabilities there, no?
Trade payables.
Trade payable. So 290 I will record,
Yes, sir.
and 3 lakh 10,000. So I will record my liabilities at 6 lakhs.
6 lakh.
And what is asset total?
30 lakh 60,000.
30 lakh 60,000. Now what is the equity share capital, beta? Equity share
8 lakh
capital?
10 lakh 56,000.
No, no. Now 10 lakh 56,000, 22 rupees, no?
Yes, sir.
20 rupees. No, what is the face value? 20 or 10?
20.
20 each. 20 and 2. So 10 lakh 56,000 divided by 22 into 20. So my equity share capital will be 9 lakh 60,000. And security premium?
96,000.
96,000. Acha, 18 ही paid up है. Sorry. Beta, one more mistake. So I have to divide it in the ratio of 18 and 4. 18 is paid up, no? 18 is to 4. Everything. I can directly take preference share capital, beta. What is the total? And equity share capital? 14 lakh 52,000. 18,4. 11 lakh 88,000. 2 lakh 64,000. 6 lakh 30,000.
1 lakh 40,000.
This will be transferred to security premium, both of this.
Yes, sir.
So in security premium, you have 4 lakh 4,000,
Yes, sir.
630 and 1188, correct?
Yes, sir.
Equity share 11 lakh. Capital कितना था?
4 lakh 4,000.
And security premium?
What's our securities premium? 4 lakh 4,000.
4 lakh 630 preference share capital. कितना बेटा? 6 lakh. Take a total. 22 lakh 86,000 आना चाहिए. In 60 minus 64 minus 64. 90 minus 64 minus 64. 2222 आ रहा है क्या टोटल देखो?
Yes, sir.
11,828 630. हाँ ठीक है. Then बेटा cash balance reduced by 64,000 and 64,000.
Yes, sir.
We are paying them, no?
Yes, sir.
1,28,000. We are reducing from resource and surplus 10,000. Why? Discount to that debenture holders. Debenture holders को 19, we have taken it over at 2, नहीं. Resource and surplus में security premium में जाएगा वो 10,000. Debentures 2 lakhs to new debentures 190 to security premium 10,000. Got the concept?
Yes, sir.
And now ये हो गया. हाँ, trade receivable and trade payable, both side you will deduct minus 20,000 from debtors and creditors, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I will issue new equity shares 15,000 into 22, 3,30,000. I will add 3,30,000 over here. plus in equity share capital I will take 270 and security premium I will add 60. 270 and 60. 330 in bank balance. So bank account debit, capital increased by 270 and security premium increased by 60,000. So now what is my equity share capital beta? Final equity share capital 14,58,000.
14
Say
lakh
yes or no?
58,000. Yes, sir.
Preference share capital,
6,30,000.
security premium
4,74,000.
4,74,000. Liabilities,
5,80,000.
take a total. $31,42,000 and 3060 minus 128 minus 20
31.
plus 330.
31 lakh 42. Yes.
No, 30,60. You are getting same amount?
Yes, sir.
I'm getting 32,42,000.
Sir, inventory.
Huh? What is the balance sheet total? 1 minute. 32,40,000, 20,88,000. Share capital plus preferential capital plus reserve surplus. 14,1458 plus 630. 20,88,000. Yes, security premium 474. Resource and surplus में 474. Okay, long term borrowings 390. Long term borrowings 390 प्लस ट्रेड पेएबल है ना, मेरा 580 आया है. 390 प्लस 32,42,000. अच्छा 32,42,000 ही है टोटल, मैंने लेने में गलती किया. 580. Okay. No, I'm getting 31,48,000. Why? 1188 plus 270, 14,58,000 plus 630 plus 474 plus 580. 31,42,000 I'm getting.
Yes, sir. I'm also getting the same answer.
390 plus 290. Oh, sorry. We have taken this total wrong beta. Liabilities. Liabilities total is wrong. Liability total is 2 lakh plus 2 lakh plus 1 lakh plus 2 lakh 10,000. No? Trade payable. So here it is 7 lakh. See 190 plus 200 plus 100 plus 210. So this is 7 lakhs. This is 6,80,000, my dear. Liabilities total we have taken wrong. Got the concept?
Yes, sir.
Now actually institute has not answered LK Limited, but I have taken this LK Limited. See the entry. Business purchase account debit to liquidator of L Limited. Correct hai?
Yes, sir.
PP account, goodwill, inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent, 5% debentures, while taking it over 2 lakhs. While taking over 2 lakhs. You are getting this point?
Yes, sir.
But while cancelling it, 190, and where to keep difference. Now institute has not given whether it is considered as general reserve or security premium. Okay, you can take either or, it doesn't matter, but ultimately both will go to security premium, and general reserve both will be transferred to reserve surplus.
Reserve and surplus.
So here one may assume general reserve, one may assume
Securities.
yes. More correct if you go, then I will consider general reserve. If you ask me personally, so general reserve is more appropriate because they have issued a discount and it is your profit. So profit will be transferred to general reserve. But one may consider it as a security premium. And then intercompany owings cancelled and bank account debit to equity share capital to security premium, and balance sheet is getting tallied. करोगे खुद से? Yes. Now you can do by your own, Vaidehi.
Yes, sir.
चलो, take a screenshot.
Yes, sir.
एक मिनट ना. This is a fourth account. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Over.
Done, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Try to solve it 2 times.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow you do not have lecture in the morning.
Done,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
हार्दिक, आपने ये ऑलरेडी कर दिया था क्या बेटा?
Done, sir.
एक मिनट. हाँ,
Done, sir.
Yes, sir.
over.
Done, sir. Done, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. Solve question 8, 9 of amalgamation. And tomorrow I will take your, sorry, tomorrow is your holiday, but for practice purpose. So you can solve other illustrations of study material, and we will continue on Thursday. ठीक है? So क्या नया था? हार्दिक किधर गए? हार्दिक,
यस सर.
क्या नया था बेटा?
सर वो अकाउंट्स ओपनिंग सर, वो सर जो लॉजिक था ना उसका वो सर नहीं आता. वो सर जो अकाउंट अकाउंट ओपनिंग का था ना वो सर हमेशा दिक्कत करता था सर मेरे को. वो सर एक तरीके से लर्न ही करना पड़ता था कि इधर लिखो. अब नहीं करना पड़ेगा सर.
अब नहीं.
अब
और
नहीं.
प्रेजेंटेशन समझ में आया?
यस सर, प्रेजेंटेशन समझ में आ गया.
सबसे पहले क्या ओपन करोगे?
सर सबसे पहले सर वर्किंग नोट 1 जो हमारा नेट एसेट्स मेथड या नेट पेमेंट मेथड के हिसाब से होगा. फिर सर वर्किंग नोट 2 जो हमारा परचेज कंसिडरेशन का डिस्चार्ज होगा हमारा प्रॉपरली. फिर सर वर्किंग नोट 3 हमारा जर्नल एंट्रीज जितनी भी. और फिर सर फोर्थ नोट पे हमारे सारे लेजर्स. और फिफ्थ पे सर बैलेंस शीट.
इजी था?
यस सर.
ये प्रॉब्लम किया था आपने क्या नहीं किया था ये?
सर किया था लेकिन ट्रांसफरी कंपनी का नहीं करा सर, वो अभी करा था।
और आपको इक्विटी शोल्डर का लॉस डायरेक्टली कैलकुलेट करने को आ जाएगा अभी?
यस सर, आ गया सर।
आप पूरा एक एक लाइन लिख रहे थे तब समझ रहा था, या सर ने सॉल्व किए हुए क्या ये ऑलरेडी?
नहीं सर, उन्होंने बुक के थ्रू कराया था, उन्होंने मतलब लिखा नहीं था।
तो आपको मैं लिख के दूं या ऐसे समझ में आ रहा है आपको अच्छे से?
नहीं सर, साथ में मैं तो सर साथ में नोट्स बना रहा था सर, जो आप बोल रहे थे।
नहीं नहीं, मतलब अभी जैसे मैं आपको दे रहा हूँ, अंडरस्टैंडिंग पहले करवा के देता हूँ, बाद में आप घर पे प्रेजेंटेशन स्टाइल में सिखा देता हूँ, और बाद में आप लोग कर लोगे तो चलेगा क्या? सॉल्व करके दूं पूरा?
नहीं नहीं सर, हो जाएगा फिर तो सर। सर अब तो सॉल्व हो ही जाएगा सर।
Okay, Vaidehi, should I give you only understanding method and screenshots, or should I write it?
The screenshot is enough, sir.
It's okay, no? Means what
Yes,
we
sir.
are doing now, it's correct.
यस
Yes,
सर।
sir.
Okay, ठीक है. You have to do this practice. One time you do it in the fair, okay? And buyback are easy or difficult, beta?
Easy, sir.
सर बायबैक तो इजी है सर, वो इलो 4 से थोड़ा दिक्कत कर रहा है सर।
You 4?
यस सर,
Yes,
उसका वो
sir.
बैलेंस शीट ही सॉफ्ट करा देता।
ठीक है, नेक्स्ट सेशन में देखते हैं. ओके,
यस सर।
चलो, थैंक यू, टेक केयर, बाय बाय.
थैंक यू
Thank
सर।
you.
Yes, sir.